Ladies and gentlemen, between each set, there's gonna be a performance from some young Durham poets. We have, to my right, Poetic Justice. Make some noise for Poetic Justice. These are Durham high school students from the Durham Performance and Learning Center that are spitting original work that we've written over the last 10 weeks. Before we bring up our poets, we've got 3 poets that are gonna spit for you. I'm gonna invite up the other facilitator of Poetic Justice, Mr. Kane, Novocaine Smigo.
How y'all feeling? I'm excited as you all to hear them spit, because I actually had another show and just came in and missed their first set, so y'all ready? Yeah. So a lot of times we get up here when we have shows and we do real polished pieces that we've performed for years. And I think it's amazing that the kids that you've seen tonight from Poetic Justice, they're so brave and they're so talented that over 10 weeks, they create new pieces every day, every week, and they're asked to perfect those pieces over those few weeks and get up here and spit something new. And so I got something new that's still a little bit shaky and a little unpolished I want to share with y'all, and I might mess up and I might trip, but it's going to be beautiful, so this is for y'all.
Let's go, poet. Go in, poet. Go in, poet. Go in, poet.
Once a week, I used to tutor a 3rd grader from Puebla, Mexico named Daniel. His father, Beto, is a short, chubby man I used to work with in a kitchen who has a smile like a kid who just put a thumbtack on the teacher's seat. My nephew Tyler is also in the 3rd grade, but he doesn't need a tutor. In fact, he just recently won the school-wide spelling bee. You see, Tyler could probably spell resilience, but Daniel could describe it. They both have one thing in common, though. They're absolutely obsessed with animated heroes. My nephew worships Spider-Man and the Hulk. I guess he dreams of one day climbing walls and showing off his giant green biceps. But Daniel, his hero isn't ripped. He never steps into a phone booth to secretly slip into costume, has no real superpowers, and goes by an ordinary name. It's me, Mario! Super Mario to be exact. But there isn't much super about him. I mean, he's a plumber in overalls who picks flowers to give him the temporary ability to throw fireballs at what look like pelicans with turtle shells, and conquers every dangerous level by jumping off a brick wall and sliding down a flagpole. But anyways, he's still plastered all over Daniel's walls in various goofy poses, and I can never understand why any kid would pick Mario to be his hero over the muscle-popping, web-slinging, slick costume-wearing Peter Parker. But then I realized that maybe for Daniel, that pudgy little plumber with no muscles and an accent as thick as his mother's tamales reminds him of his father. Working class, immigrant man, never held a plunger but knows what it's like to handle other people's shit, knows what it's like to climb a wall and leap for a flag they told him could never be his in the first place, though he threw steaming handfuls of desert aside like fireballs when he crossed Sonora to come work in the US back when paradise was just a pair of dice, like an ivory box full of wishes placed before a firing squad of Minutemen and Border Patrol. No, he has no superpowers. No documents either, no social security number, and a 3rd grade education like his son. So he'd pay me $25 a week to help his little boy get the education he never had the chance to, but in a state where Daniel isn't even considered a resident. I'm afraid that the tuition may be a bigger barrier to cross than the border, and I wonder if I should still be teaching him to fish in a lake full of lava and lies, because I know that at 8 years old, he can be anything he wants to be, except a college student. You see, about a decade back, a bill called the DREAM Act was proposed to help immigrant minors achieve higher education, but every year, after the votes fall just short enough to make it seem like partisan villains actually want to help their maids, janitors, and tomato pickers make it out the field and into the classroom, the bill is rolled into a scroll and left to rot in the Dead Sea of false hope at the Capitol building, and Daniel's future is a montage of snapshots unseen, scrolled up like a roll of film picked from the pant pocket of divinity by a fallen angel and hidden in some shadowy corner of purgatory he thought God would never look. But I remind Daniel that even the brightest and most brilliant of photographs have to develop in the darkness, unravel like red carpets onto that obsidian stage where the moon first dipped its pale face into the spotlight. And you boy, were born on a doorstep made of midnight, and these days they got a dozen deadbolts on the dawn, but your daddy Started teaching you to pick those locks at the same time he taught you to tie your shoes and walk like the earth belonged to no one. I arrived early to our tutoring session one day. Daniel was still playing Super Mario. When his mother told him it was homework time, he whined and complained, said he wanted to keep playing. A smirk bullet trained across my face, but her response derailed my smile in its tracks. She told him, Mi hijo, tienes que estudiar, para que no seas como tu papá, haciendo el trabajo que los demás no quieren hacer. My son, you have to study, so you don't end up like your father, doing the work that no one else wants to. And I wanted to tell him no. Tell him your mother is a brick house guerrera of a woman who loves you enough to slit her own dignity's throat, and I know what she's trying to teach you, boy, but nah, mijo. You be just like your father. Learn to pick those locks like he taught you. Don't let any rules written by men tell you where you can roam on God's green earth. Let no Uncle Sandman tell you when you can dream. You rub those grains of Sonora out of your eyes and replace them with little bits of revelation. And if a store clerk or a classmate or a coward with a badge of false hope ever calls you illegal, you remind them that a few decades back, the gutter used to be the border that kept black folk off the sidewalk legally, and you're just a couple shades lighter than slave to them, but you're a superhero to me, mijo. With a Mexican flag for a cape tied around your shoulders and the same knots your father taught you to lace your shoes with before you walked through a quicksand of flames that smelled like Ellis Island burning. Forget a phone booth and a disguise. You scream out your true identity in the middle of the street, unashamed, sin vergüenza, breathe bilingual fire when you overhear the overseer's secrets in English and spit them back to the field hands in your mother tongue and your father's heart, and just know that one day, you may find a brick house guerrera of a woman that will hold you as tightly as her courage. And perhaps she will teach you to hold a son the same way. He will have his grandfather's smile and his mother's eyes. And if he ever doubts the fireballs in his palms, she will tell him, Un día, mijo, vas a ser exactamente igual que tu papá. One day, my son, you're going to be just like your daddy. All right. So as loud as you just got, I need you to get like 8 times louder, and I want you to welcome up first to the stage, in her second term in Poetic Justice. We kind of consider her kind of like the, you know, just the captain of the team, I want to say. I want you to give it up for Jasia.
How y'all doing, everybody? Okay, you have to bear with me. I just wrote this poem. I hope you like it. By the way, the name of this poem is called The Slave Ship. I've been used for reasons I wasn't even built for. I've caught tears, witnessed cries, and even smelled the worst scent, death. Already, yelled the captain. You all better hurry up, you worthless losers. These were worthless people that got treated so badly. According to the whites, they didn't even really care. Why? Why do you have to torture them just to get your point across? Unfortunately, I was unheard. Shot after shot. Pow, pow, pow. Bodies dropped like temperatures. Death was busy on me, letting the sharks taste them. Blood trails of untold stories covered the floors they stood on. My hands wish they could reach out and help, but I'm worthless for that. I'll carry your stories. My stomach holds all the pain inside because my heart, it has given up. I witnessed the cries unheard, the beatings and the smiles exchanged before they were taken away. Can you believe they had no sympathy in knowing that they were taking away lives in a world of beauty, fell from the blackness of a suspect's eye? Every wave caught some pain. Sharks ate hearts that lived in rain. Winds, they caught kisses that were meant for the others, all the troubles and bodies of struggle. When the night got settled and the foggy clouds stretched over the skies, through the heaven memories were taken in sleep. It was a blessing. Thank you.
All right, next up, we're bringing George back to the stage. Make some noise for George. He's awesome. Is that big enough?
How's everybody doing again? All right, speaking of some new, Kane hasn't heard this yet, so I hope he enjoys it, but it's called ethnicity. If you ask me what ethnicity I am, I will not give you a color. I will not categorize myself by the tissue covering the body from which I was formed. They say one person can't change the world by themselves, but I ask you, if you don't start somewhere now, then where will you be later? Let me break down the word ethnicity for you first. Ethnic, a member of a nationality group. Second, ethnos, characteristics, beliefs, and morals. Thirdly, ethnicity, ethnic affiliation, elimination of a person's belief in the cultures of others to be categorized by the skin laid upon their flesh. I refuse to be a part of this black and white world that many look at now. Race, same as ethnicity, human, humanity, the human race. See, we are all of the same color. Just some of us were molded from different dirt, like Maya Angelou molds her brains to reveal art. See, I would not be set aside during group time because I am not your brother. I would not eat at a different table because I didn't choose the same food as you did. I would not classify myself as a different human because I was born in a different part of this world. I would not change the love of my soulmate because I didn't choose the same ethnicity as I am. This is not Slavery Day. This is not Dr. Martin Luther King's way. A dream that all men and women be looked at as equal, not by the skin color they wear, clothes they have, or sexual orientation they prefer. Ethnicity is a form of literature put on the paper that we check off when we're filling out a job application, federal application, or for our education. Does it really matter what ethnicity I am to receive food stamps, or what race I am to take a test for my education? A realization that many kids around this nation can't receive. Please don't underestimate these words that pour from my lungs to be of a misunderstanding. An understanding that we have the same red blood that flows through our veins, intertwines through our minds to calculate the illusion of sight. The sight that we are all the same ethnicity. From the music we listen to bumping our cars to the food we cook in our kitchen. Whether it be in the hood or the country, fancy house or grandmama house, we are all the same people. Fruit from the same tree, just made with different seeds. I'm not spitting a poem, I'm telling you history, no mystery. This ain't unrealistically to be, this realistically you see. I'ma be me, who I am, the way I was born. Whether with long hair or short hair, light skin or dark skin, I was made in the creation of God himself. So I keep no frown stamped upon my face or tears cramped around my eyes. I will give birth to happiness and dine at the table with peace and unity. I am the new beginning. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we're gonna bring up Anna again. I just wanna say one thing. Y'all are like the most just polite crowd and you're just listening to every word. This is beautiful. But we do like to say one thing. Poetry is not like golf. You don't have to wait to the end to be like, all right? So during the poem, if you hear something that you like, that moves you, that resonates with you, you can snap. It's not just because snapping is super cool, because it is super cool. But it's also because we want to hear the next line. So we don't want you to like scream and do backflips and all that kind of stuff. That's for after the poem, when you would be doing this, right? So snap, you can let a little sound come up out of you, if you feel it. I think Anna's actually gonna be singing a song. So if she's hitting the notes and it's shaking your soul, give her a little something back. We feed off of that energy, all right? Cool? All right, give it up for Anna.
I'm a little hoarse, you guys, so if my voice cracks, then you know why. I heard that you settled down, that you found a girl and you're married now. I heard that your dreams came true. Guess she gave you things I didn't give to you. Old friend, why are you so shy? Ain't like you to hold back or hide from the light. I hate to turn up out of the blue uninvited, but I couldn't stay away, I couldn't fight it. I hoped you see my face, that you be reminded that for me it isn't over. Never mind, I'll find someone like you, and I wish nothing but the best. for you too. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you said sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause to all our Poetic Justice students. Remember, they are in high school. They're like 16, 17 years old, so that took a lot of courage for them to get up here. They're gonna have one more set after Mount Moriah before Megaphon, so we'll see them again. But let's make some noise for Mount Moriah's coming up next, y'all.